Samuel Clemens wrote under the pen name Mark Twain, but of course, my educated subs already knew that. And Sammy Boy had a number of most excellent quotes, old sayings. You guys know I love old sayings. Now, one in particular comes to mind as I prepare to run the dogs in the wee hours of this morning. Quote, "Everyone complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it." Unquote. How cool is that? And that was a true fact observation of Twain's. He lived in 1835, born in 1835 to 1910. And during his lifetime, up until his death, nobody could do anything about the weather except bitch about the weather. But that was then, people, and this is now. And for the last 75 years, certain people have been allowed to play with, to control the very weather we all must endure. And I'm telling you, it's getting to the point where we're going to have to endure some brutal weather. Now, people would just look up from their cell phones at the once clear blue skies and see the chemical gray blanket of death. They would see with their own eyes a major and often used tool to control our weather. You got it. Stratospheric aerosol injections, people. Chemtrails. Now, some of you may remember I used to start out my podcasts, especially last winter, with the scripted, oh yeah, I said scripted, people, weather report given to the weather readers by Lockheed Martin and Raytheon corporations. The weather readers, the meteorologists who operate under a federal gag order. Gee, I wonder what they told them not to say. But this podcast, believe it or not, isn't about the weather or chemtrails. Do you really want to know what this podcast will be about? It will be about words. Yep, W-O-R-D-S, words. It will be about casting spells with words. It will be about spelling. So stay with me, people, because I'm just getting started on, thank God it's Friday, the 2nd of December, 2022, or so they'd have us believe. Okay, so standing outside of the bottom feeder pit yesterday, oh yeah, I stayed too late again, doing my best impersonation of a goyim dumb cattle, having a smoke with a few other dumb cows, because that's what cattle do, don't they? They stand outside in the weather. I mean, help me out, ranchers, am I wrong? So anyway, I made the comment that it is getting cold standing out here, and the weather script, the weather forecast, ain't looking good for the immediate future. So someone said, well, don't bitch, because it could be worse. Now, I'm standing there shocked. I mean, what's the reply? What's the comeback to that? I mean, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, it could be worse, but why the negativity? Why can't people be positive? Why can't they say, God damn right, it could be a lot nicer this time of the year if the godmen would quit fucking around with the weather, and we need to end this insanity right here, right now. But no, it's got to be the negativity. And why the negativity? Words, people. We cast spells with our words and our negative mindset. We admit defeat over and over again each day in so many different ways. Don't bitch, it could be worse. What are you saying to me? Be thankful the godmen didn't twist a big black knob, do some ice nucleation. That's a patented process, people. And give us 40 below for 4 weeks. Can you see my point? There's no power in a negative mindset. Now, I wasn't lying to you a few days ago when I told you memory is the third thing to go when you get old. So I really wish I could remember that woman's name who came up with this gem. This is a classic. She calls it our life sentence. Pay attention, people. I might give you a quiz at the end of this. And that's it. It's just going to be one sentence, and she calls it our life sentence. You know, like prison sentence, I'm thinking. And I'm going to try to stress the words I want you to pay close attention to. Here we go. We awake each morning and go up during the weekdays to earn a living at various trials and undertakings until we come to the weekend. That's it. One sentence, our life sentence. But here's her translation, and I mean trance, T-R-A-N-C-E, lation of the English language. Words cast spell, people. Spelling. Awake. Isn't that a funeral party for the dead? Morning. Isn't that the state you're in when you attend a wake? Weekdays. D-A-Z-E. To earn a living, since urns are ashes for the dead. Holy ashes for the dead. We call our trials undertakings. Hey, what do undertakers do? We get the weekend of the deal and progressively become weakened ourselves. Now that is pretty cool. You have to admit that's, come on, Dave, yeah, that's pretty cool. So what's the takeaway, people? Yes, you can spell weekdays W-E-E-K-D-A-Y-S, or you could spell it W-E-A-K-D-A-Z-E. Now here's the takeaway. It's not how a word is spelled on paper, but how the word sounds when you say it. Even Hollywood gets it right in the movies. The witches and the goblins aren't writing a bunch of words down on paper, casting pieces of paper all over the place, tossing them up in the air. No. The witches and goblins are casting spells by saying the spell, verbalizing it. Doesn't matter how it's spelt on paper. They sound the same. Weekdays, awake. They sound the same when you say it. See it? Negativity. It really does weaken ourselves. We have to stop being negative, people. We need to start thinking and speaking positively. Now that light at the end of the tunnel, that one bearing down on all of us, is not, I'm going to repeat it, is not a beacon of hope, as so many people think. Tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I'm going to deal with one more word. A very powerful word, made famous over 200 years ago. But is it really a good word? Is it a word we should be using today? Well, guess what, sports fan? You're going to have to stay tuned. Oh, damn, look at the time. I got stuff to do.